Hi everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Asajj Ventress from Star Wars. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, I'm going to go for got kind of big there. I'm going to go for a new action pose, something we haven't done before. I just thought of this pose while I was trying to come up with something good, and she's got kind of the cross beams. And so I'm going to make it a little different. But the nice thing is, too, this is also going to free up the lightsabers. Not going across her, you know, so it's going to have them sticking out. Well, I guess over this arm, that one might be a little obvious. We're gonna have to do it there. But normally what I like to do is not draw the body or any place that the Sharpie is going to cross, so we get kind of a glowing effect for the lightsaber. But I think this time it's gonna go across a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, so looking good so far. And I'm going to, obviously I'm going to take a little bit of artistic license, I guess is the best word to say, because there is no character like movie style. There is no character to guide me as to what exactly she looks like. So I'm going kind of off of everything. So animation, cosplay, drawings, stuff like that. Just kind of coming up with, well, this is what my interpretation is, because guess what? This is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. But I'm just kind of playing around with the elements that people have come up with and kind of coming up with my own. Okay? Because that's the great thing about creation, about being the artist, being the designer, being the dream maker, is you get to come up with it. You get to make whatever you want. And so, like I've seen, like the animated one, it's a full-on dress, right? I've seen cosplay where it's a cape. And so I'm kind of coming up with a little bit of both. A little bit of, yeah, something's hanging down, and there's something back behind her. But, it's whatever I want it to be, really. Okay, so now I need to refine a few things. Like I did the quick sketch. And that's what you always want to do, is get your sketch down, make sure you've got everything where you want it to be, and then you can add the detail, right? But you got to get that sketch in first. So do that first, and then you can add your detail. But also it helped to get her in the pose that I wanted her in, you know, because it's also going to make sure that you don't fall off the page. There's so many times I'm trying to tell everybody, you know, you got to learn to do this. You got to learn to you got to do the hard work, you know, which is learn your anatomy, get the pose down, and then you can draw the rest. Well, this is why. Because if you want to do something like this, you've got to learn your anatomy as to why everything is going to go where it's going to go, for the reasons it's going to go. And like I said, it just helps to place everything where you're going to place it. Alright, so I might come back and do this again later, but for the lightsabers I like to just draw a straight line so I know that the hilt is going to be going in the same direction as the blade. And I'm trying to find a good picture. If there's any detail I want to put in, no, that's fine. Because well, this one's got a curved hilt, but still, I just like to make sure that the hilt isn't like this way and the blade's that way. You know what I mean? I kind of want it all straight. So a lot of times I'll just do a straight pencil line just to make sure I'm in the right realm of angles. And that's it. And like I said, once I start inking too, that might change. So a lot of times I'll go back and I'll change and see if I've got it in the right place. Well, I'm all over the place with this one. I got lines here and lines there. Let's see. Let's see if I can draw her face. Ooh, and you know what? It's a good point. I just drew what I don't want to do. Basically, I want to make sure that I ink in certain points and then I don't ink in other points. And what I mean by that is I want color to take care of some of this stuff. Like the detailing on her face. The tattoos, the color. You know what I'm trying to say. But earlier when I said I'm all over the place with this, and I just realized that, yeah, I threw a lot of sketch lines in here, so I'm going to have to clean this up a little bit and figure out what lines I'm going to put where. Alright, I think that might be enough to get what I want done and give me enough room to play around with a Sharpie. So yeah, so let's erase some of this because I did a lot of sketching to get there. But that's how I work. I'm a sketcher. I throw lines down until I see where it's going to go and start solidifying, start getting more confident. And that's what you want to do. You want to stick with your confidence, not the sketchiness. And luckily, those light lines, the first lines, the sketch lines, were super light, so when I'm erasing, they're going to disappear first, and my more confident lines, they're going to stick around, and that's what's going to guide us on this little journey of Sharpie Sharpie Adventure. There we go, Sharpie Adventure. Alright, so there we go. I am ready to go. I'm going to welcome everybody that skipped to this portion and get us going. Alright. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen. Mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than the fine point and can find the things that a fine point can't quite find. So, I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the lighter sketch lines, and what's left is a faint ghost of an image that will guide me with the Sharpies and where I want to go. So, I think I'm going to start with the Sharpie pen to start with the eyes, the finer detail, and then grow out of the picture. So, like I said, I've sketched it out. I'm going to follow my sketch and see where it takes me. So I'm going to draw the top of her eyelids first to see if I've got them in the right area, kind of like this, make sure they're level compared to the way I've got her. But she's pretty much looking straight at you, so we can just draw a straightforward face looking at you. So, top of the eyelids. So I'm going to draw one across like that. Another one across like that, and there you go. That's about where I want it, so I'm just going to continue on and build off of this. So I'm going to draw some retinas, the round part. She's kind of looking up at you, like that. This one's a little slanty, a little off, so I'm going to see if I can fix this. So I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to thicken that up. Going to thicken that up. Gonna add a little bit of pupil. A little bit of pupil there. And build off of this. So I don't draw the underside of the eye. I let color take care of that because these Sharpies will bleed if I go in there. But I do like to add just a little bit of point to the edge like that. I like to bring it in, like implying where the bottom of the eye is. Like this. But there you go. That's all I want to do. Now, mine is looking a little alien, but that's okay because guess what? She's alien. You know, she's not Earthling, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we can get a little bit of creativity here and kind of get away with a little bit extra of what we want to do. So let me try to find some pictures of her real fast just to double check. Like, do I draw eyebrows? Should I do that with color? I'm gonna do something. I gotta do something. Whether it's an eyebrow or not, we gotta give her a ridge, right? So I'm gonna make it kind of an angry eyebrow. It's gonna come down like this. We'll do another one like that. And there you go. So that gave us a little bit of a ridge, and we can color it later if we want, and it's not too defined as an eyebrow. So now, for her nose, I'm going to draw the bridge of her nose just a little bit like this, and then come in and just draw the nostrils and the front, because I kind of have her at an angle like that, or I guess like to you, it'd be like this. So where the nose is, the edge, it's going to kind of disappear like this. So the nostrils, if I had them right here, they're going to kind of go down like that. So luckily we can get away with drawing a little bit less and it still looks good. So I'm going to draw the center of the nose first like this, and now I'm going to come back and draw some nostrils. I'm keeping it very minimalist because like that. So see, it's super simple. But I don't want to do a lot of detail with this Sharpie because this is very defining. This defines a lot of edges, and we're not quite doing that yet. We're just giving it some places to go, and then color will help us take it in other directions. So for the mouth, I'm just going to go ahead and come across like this, just to, again, define an edge. Come here for the bottom, and do a little bit of the top, just very slightly, and then I'm going to draw the the chin up to the jaw. Now here I'm going to start to thicken it up because once I use this Sharpie, it's going to go into some really thick areas. So I'm going to kind of guide it as to, or get ready for what's going to happen here. So this will also help me hide any mistakes. Watch. So I'm going to draw her jaw up to her ear, I guess, like this, and then up to her ear. So see, I'm going to thicken it up just a little bit. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Come down, kind of give her a pointy jaw face. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to thicken it up, soften it up too, because that was kind of a very harsh edge there. And draw her bald head. Now, I'll come back and do the ears in a second. I'm just going to kind of guide myself as to where I'm going to take her. Something like that. And just kind of round it off to what looks right to you. Okay, so now let's do this. Let's kind of give her like some definition, just a little bit, kind of like this, kind of like that, and draw some ears. Go. Now, normally, your ears are from your nose to your eye, but again, because her head is tilted a little bit, the sides of her ears are going to be a little bit higher. See, so if this was her ear right there, if it's looking right at you, if it's tilted, it goes a little bit higher. You know what I mean? So you just kind of take that into account and play around with that look. Okay. Now, I said this in the sketch that all the detail in her face, I'm going to leave for color. I'm not going to worry about that. Try to smooth some of this out. I'm going too crazy here. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to switch back over to the big Sharpie and keep the detail that I can do with this. So I'm going to draw her neck down like this, and I'm going to come back with the smaller detail and do this just to highlight that specific part, like that. Now she does have like a cape that is I've attached by like a chain or something, so I'm gonna go ahead and draw those edges. And let's see, in this one I got kind of up a little bit, so it's gonna kind of do something like that. This shoulder is more up. And for the chain, let's do so again, see how thick that is versus how thin that is? That's why I was trying to match it to make it kind of match the way it looks. And for this chain, see, I'm just kind of doing something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exactly like a chain. It's just implied, you know? And there, I want to thicken this up just a little bit more, just for my own satisfaction. If you're drawing with pencil, you don't have to worry about that. All right, so here we go. For her hands, I've got them crossed over her. So this is gonna get a little tricky, so just hear me out, follow me, and let's play along and see where we can take this. I'm gonna draw like her shoulders of her hood, that kind of thing. That's kind of hanging down like this. Come back with my Sharpie pen, and add just a little bit of like creases and folds is what I call them. It's basically the robe's material flapping over itself is basically what I like to do. So you can only see so much of her shoulder, and so I'm going to, let's see if I can double check all this stuff real fast. I'm going by the different elements to get all this together. And so now I'm going to draw her arm. So her shoulder's right here. There's her bicep. There's this side, but it's going to stop right there because I've got it crossed over. But the other arm is over that. So again, hear me out. This is going to get a little tricky. I'm going to draw her wrist over like this. The top of it. The underside. The other side is underneath the arm. You'll see why in a second. And then I'm going to draw her hand up to her thumb. Like that. That's holding the lightsaber, so it's coming across. And now we're going to draw the back of the knuckles over here. Alright, so does this making sense to you now? There's the inside of the hand. Now, the other part of the hand is hanging down right there over that, so that's all I can draw first. But we're going to draw the lightsaber, the hilt, and put that in front of this arm. So I got to draw what's in front first. So when you draw what's behind, you're not drawing through stuff, okay? So for the lightsaber, we're just going to come out a little bit like this. Give it a little bit of a lip. Come down like that. It's a little thick, but that's okay. But it's also the curved hilt, like Dooku, you know? So we're going to say it's coming down like this, and we're going to go ahead and put it in front of this arm. Naturally, it wouldn't quite do that. It would go underneath the arm. But this is how we draw. We get to do whatever we want here. So I'm going to bring it, curve it down like that. Curve this handle like that. And do that. So there you got your lightsaber handle. So there we go. So, and I was talking about this in the sketch. I like to make sure that the, oops, that's a little too dark, that the angle of my blade is following the hilt. So I like to give myself just a little bit of a a line that's straight to kind of trace over, and watch, we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna add a little bit of detail to the lightsaber, a little bit of something just to make it unique. Let's see. Something like that. Now, for the lightsaber, what I like to do is skip. So basically what I was to do is it comes out like this, comes down, skip, pick it up, come down. About right there is where I'm going to stop it. So I'm going to come back, do the same thing in different places, and then connect it right here. And there's my lightsaber. Okay? So, alright, so now we can draw the other arm, because all that's what's in front of it. So this one is behind that. It's coming down here. There's the elbow. And the forearm is now going to be like this. Okay? There's the wrist. I can draw the other side of the arm. Does that make sense now? You see it? Alright, we're going to add some detail for the wrapped arm in a second too, but I wanted to draw this arm and then we'll come back for the detail. So we're going to do just like we did there. We're going to draw the hand to the thumb, like that. It's going over. There's a lightsaber. The knuckles that you can see there. Same thing, we're going to draw the lightsaber like we did there. Just out, a little bit of a lip, coming back in, curve it. Like that. Add some detail. Now, here's where we're going to add a lot of detail actually, so I can close this off because I know where that edge is there. And I'm going to do like we did there, just add a little bit of fun detail. Doesn't matter if it's perfect, doesn't matter if it's the same. We just want to kind of add something to make it, you know, stand out. Same thing there. So I'm going to redraw the line the way I did it because I don't like the way it angled. I think it'd be more like this. Right? Maybe something like that. All right. And then I erase it because I don't want it to stand out. I'm just kind of giving myself a guide. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, you know, where it's out and big, the first of it right there. Then I'm just going to kind of follow up, lift up, come down, and then do the same thing over here. Come back. Like that. And it kind of gives it the light effect. Light doesn't have an edge, but we got to give it some kind of an edge, right? So here we go. So I'm going to add a little bit of extra detail. I'm going to do the wraps around her arm. Something like that. Do the same thing over here. This will also help us define which arm is which. And I'm just making this up so you don't have to draw the exact same lines I'm doing. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. But it just helps define us a few edges here. So, let's see. So her design of her costume comes down like that. We're going to give her this edge over here where her shoulder is. And you can't really see that right there. So that's all we're going to worry about there. So we can build on the rest of it. All right. I'm flipping through different pictures here to see how they've got it designed in the different styles of cosplay and animation. Okay, so I'm going to draw her waist coming down like this to her belt, like that. And so now I'm just going to kind of design, and this is what I was talking about, that I kind of designed that one of them has a dress, one of them has a cape, so I'm kind of mixing it up, making it my own to make a unique style of costume here. Because again, like I was talking about, we are the ones who get to make this, so we get to make whatever we want. So there's a belt there that I kind of want to emphasize like this. On one side, that it's tied, that's where the whole thing is put together. Something like that. And do the other side over here, so I got it kind of cutting through like that, like that, and then there's the whole piece that's hanging down. But we're going to do a little bit of extra, you know, a little bit of extra stuff, just to make it our own. Oh, and I got her legs kind of spread out. That's why this is kind of floating out like that, because the legs are going to be going out this way. Alright, so I'm going to just connect a few things here, connect something there. Now, that piece hanging down, I got to draw that. So I'm just going to follow like let's pretend it came from there. So I'm going to come in here, do this, come in here, do that, and hang it straight down. There we go, something like that. Okay, so now we're just going to draw her legs and then kind of the cape hanging down. And I guess I could do that now. I'm just going to pretend I'm following it down there. It's going to come here, hit like that, This one's kind of falling back there, like that. And again, I'm just kind of making it up because I want to do whatever I want. So you follow if you want, you make whatever you want, and we'll make this our own. We'll make it something special, right? Okay. Let's see, let's do that. Let's follow that down like this. We'll say it's over here as well, and that'll guide us for her costume. Okay, so now we're just going to draw the legs spread out and then the cape's hanging down. So I don't have to draw much of the crotch because it's all hidden behind that. So we're just going to say her leg starts right here. Here's the inside, goes to her knee, and we're going to give her boots. So do that. And I like to add like little bumps like that to kind of give us a place to creatively add some creases and folds for a costume. You know, it's material at that point, so we can bunge it up and make it crease and fold and just make it alive. You know, make it our own. So let's go ahead and finish it up. Let's draw the boot, just regular old boot, just hanging down. But she's at a very dramatic stance. So draw the front like that. Let me add some detail to the stress of the bend, like that. There's the front of the boot. The other side real quick. So we're pretty much doing the same thing. We're going to draw a leg like that to the knee, to the boot. Same thing, the inner thigh coming down, meeting there. Draw that boot. This one we'll do kind of at an angle out that way, not straight at you. Because not everything is the same. You know, we can mix it up, and the less symmetrical, the more real it feels, you know? So we'll do the front of the shoe like that. There we go. So see, we mixed it up just a little bit to make it different. We'll do the cape hanging down in a second. I just wanted to add some detail here. Again, we don't have to go too crazy, but I like adding this stuff. Okay, so same thing. We're going to add some stress on that boot. There we go. Whoops. Whoa. I'm getting excited and throwing my pins. So now, again, like I said, in the animated, it's a full-on dress, so we're just going to draw like something hanging down. We'll say it's the cape, we'll say it's whatever. So we're just going to say it's coming down like this. Flowing in the back like that. And we'll add some cape lines. Ooh, that came out very, very thin. There you go, something like that. And there you go. I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Asajj Ventress from Star Wars. So here is my colored version. You could do it however you like. I just thought I'd show you how I decided to color it. If you'd like to color it like this, you can always pause the video here and use the coloring techniques that I used, or you can just make it your own. Remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of how I draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button to be updated about each new video.